We got a lot to talk about. Hey guys, welcome to a brand new edition of Makeup and Motivation. I know I look crazy right now because I just did my brows off camera, because ain't nobody got time to be doing brows on camera. It's just too much work. So to save you guys time from watching me do my brows, we're just gonna jump into skin and give you my everyday natural, what I wear to work, what I wear when I'm really not trying to do too much but it still does enough kind of look. And of course, I'm gonna give you guys a life update. We're gonna talk about what is going on with me right now in my home buying process. I am in the process of living on my own and purchasing a property. Cheers to that in my SJGC FAMU cup. Rattle, stand up. So let's jump into it, guys. A lot to talk about. So first thing we're going to start on is foundation. We are going to use oldie but goodie Maybelline Matte and Poreless. This is like $5.99 at Target or Walmart. Fit me. If you want to just start out your makeup journey and you don't even know what foundation to start with and you don't want to spend a lot of money, start with Maybelline Fit Me. It's the perfect first foundation to have. And it gets the job done just like these high-end foundations do. So, I am 30. If you guys haven't yet seen that I just turned 30. So, my entrance into 30 has been interesting so far. I've only been 30 for a little over a month, and it's been interesting to say the least. Gotta put a little bit. I don't put a lot, guys. So my entrance into 30 has been, like I said, interesting. Actually, hold that thought. I need a mirror. I'm over here using y'all as a mirror, and I need an actual mirror, so just bear with me. So my interest into 30 has been interesting. I almost guys, I almost closed on a condo Monday, April 12th. Almost. But it didn't work out because the underwriter, which is Freddie Mac in my case, didn't approve the association. And if you want to become a first-time home buyer, and I'm going to give you a few tips throughout this makeup tutorial, but if you want to become a first-time home buyer, understand that if your budget based off of what you get approved for is a condo, that associations can really be a pain in the butt, okay? Like, for real. Because if you don't know, associations are pretty much the people who control just keeping up an area, property. It's who you pay your maintenance to. It keeps up the condo. So places with the association, the benefit of having a place with an association is that, it's, for the most part, it's going to get kept up. If any major repairs need to be done to the exterior or interior, the association is going to make sure that it keeps the area with some value. The cons to having an association is it can be very expensive, and it can cause you to possibly not get approved for your place. Now, me personally, as far as my credit, my history, my background, I was approved automatically. The reason why I couldn't get the condo and why it didn't work out after over a month of waiting was the association ended up getting approved. Now, Freddie Mac, they put me through the ringer of pretty much making us go through this waiting game of making it seem like it was going to get approved, but it didn't. So pretty much the association didn't have enough reserves, which means they're not managing their money properly for the lender to take it on and not to see the association as a risk to where it doesn't fall back on them. So they don't want to be put in a position to where if there's major repairs to be done and maybe, let's say I can't afford to do it and the association don't have the reserves to get it done, it could fall on the lender. And they don't want me to be put in a position where I'm defaulting on my loan. So, yeah. Now, you would think with me being that close to closing, literally had boxes packed, most of my room already packed, about to leave my parents' house, already purchased some furniture. Like, I thought that this was a done deal. And for it to not work out, you would think that I would have been sad, that it would have been depressing. You would have thought that I would have felt like, God, what are you doing? Why would you let me go through this? But I'm telling you right now, God shined his light on me the day that I got the email and found out that I wasn't able to get the condo. He shined his light on me because he reminded me whatever misses you was never for you. And what is meant for you will not miss you. So I tell you this, whatever closed door you get, whatever rejection you get, whatever right now feels like a denial, God is using that denial to set you up where you were always meant to be. And I'm an advocate for just believing in God for where he wants to place you. Where you're supposed to be placed, no man can block. No man can get in your way. Nobody can reverse. It doesn't matter what obstacles are against you. When something is meant for you, in this case, my first home, it's going to work out in the favor of the Lord. I'm preaching right now, but I'm so passionate about it because when I tell you, I was almost there. But God said, nah, girl, that ain't your place. And I had so much peace that day. I wasn't sad. I went to my realtor. We talked about it. We came up with a different game plan. And when I tell you, I feel good about looking again. I feel good about what I don't want, what I do want. I feel good about what to ask for. Because there were certain things that the condo didn't have that I was willing to settle for. But now I get a second chance to not have to settle for those things. Because if you're somebody like me, going off of what you can afford, let's say if what you're approved for is in the budget of a condo, maybe it's not in the budget of a single family home of your dreams in this beautiful neighborhood. Maybe your budget falls in the lines of a condo, like me, based off of what I make. So in that case, you somehow have to go along with what places fit your budget. But, and what I'm learning throughout this process is, regardless if it may be a challenge to find really nice places with good areas that have everything I'm looking for, regardless if that may seem challenging at first, it's worth me taking my time. The first time around, when I was first looking, I've been looking since January. We are now almost at the end of April. I've been looking since January, since I got approved. I was like ready since the beginning of the year. I said, I'm ready. Let's do it. So I've been looking since January. And when I tell you, it's not been easy. This is now, the one that just didn't fall through was my second contract with a place. So when I tell you, I'm not discouraged. I know that God has the right place for me. I'm going to be patient. I'm not going to rush things. I'm not going to be quick to make an offer without getting the questions that I need to get answered. So just some quick tips, and we're going to go into the next part of my life update, but just some quick tips for if you want to be a first-time home buyer and you're wanting to know, how do I start this process? My biggest advice to you, and it sounds cliche and it sounds very simple, but save your coins. When I tell you, you cannot save enough. That was one of the most overwhelming parts of this experience, is me getting this place on my own. I'm not getting it with a significant other. I'm not having a roommate. It's just on me. It's all coming out of my pocket. I'm seeing every dollar exit my account. So being a first-time home buyer, especially if you're like me as a millennial, doing it on your own, save your coins. When you think you saved enough, save more. My suggestion, if you want to get into a place, it's just my suggestion, I hope this number doesn't overwhelm you, I would go into it with a minimum of 30 grand. I'm giving you some real now. Don't let the number intimidate you. Now, there are first-time home buyer programs where you don't need to have that much. But I'm not just saying 30 grand just specifically for closing. I'm saying have 30 grand for furniture, for you to be put in a position where you're not like taking out all of your money out of your savings. Put yourself in a position before you even go to a lender to get an approval. Put yourself in a position to not be overwhelmed by the financial, the financial journey you're about to go on with all the stuff you're gonna have to pay for. You got the inspection, that's $300. That's what you get right after you make the offer. Then you got the appraisal, that's $500. You have the application fee. In my case, it was $100. So you got these pre-fees that just coming right out of your account, and you still don't even know if your association or your condo is going to be approved. So you got all that going on. And then on top of that, you got closing costs, which that's the biggest mother of them all. Okay, so when I tell you gotta be prepared, prepare yourself as much as you possibly can, because you can't save enough. So I'm telling you, that's something that I'm learning as we speak, that I love to share the knowledge with others who are also thinking about getting a place, is save your coins, okay? Because, oh Lord, my eye is watering. You just don't want to be in a position to where you're prematurely getting into something that you can't afford, and that's wiping you out. If it's wiping you out, wait a little bit longer. Now, some people don't have a choice. If don't have the crutch of staying with a parent or staying with somebody, and you just kind of have to find some place, I get it. Where if you have to rent right now until you can afford to purchase, I get it. But don't you hate that when you start your makeup and your eye just wants to start watering? It's probably because my fan was right in front of me. Gotta learn my lesson, right? So save your coins and take your time with finding the right lender. That's something I wish I would have did. I kind of want to change my lender now, because when I tell you, your lender is really gonna make your process easier or make it hard. And my lender, especially because it's a big bank, they have not made my process easy at all, because they're gonna constantly have you uploading things and sending them things, and it's like you're doing homework every week for them almost, up until it's closing. So there's always constant communication you're gonna be in with your loan officer and all of those people. And it can get frustrating because they'll tell you a bunch of stuff you need to do, but they won't really show you how to do it. And so, yeah. Another tip I would give you is educate yourself as much as possible before you start the process. Because the more educated you are, the more you're not depending on your realtor to teach you everything. I know I look crazy, but this is the baking process. The more you're not like depending on your realtor to know everything, because that's how I was. I wasn't educating myself properly. I was literally just like, okay, show me this place. Like, I wasn't doing my own due diligence to know enough before I started looking. And that just came from me just being anxious, because obviously I'm 30, I'm ready to get out of my parents' house. It's about that time. And that anxiousness can cause you to rush a process that don't need to be rushed. Like, purchasing a home is one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make. Of course, a car is in the top 5, but purchasing a home is a big decision. And now that I'm really doing my research, I've been seeing so many videos about how much millennials are regretting their purchase decision because of them not educating themselves properly and really dissecting the area that they chose and making sure they really know all the expenses that go along with it, because you'll think you can afford it and then you can't, and then you're putting yourself in a position to be delinquent on payments, and nobody wants that. So bottom line is, educate yourself as much as possible. Make sure you take every home buyer class, watch every YouTube video before you even start looking. Because the more educated you are, the more you'll know what to look for, what not to look for. You'll remember a lot of things that you learned, and you won't go into it blind. You won't go into it just depending on realtors and parents to completely infiltrate your mind. You'll be able to have a voice and an opinion, and you'll be able to speak up for yourself because you educated yourself. So take it from me, educate yourself. And this is what I use for all over the face, Fenty Beauty 410 Pro Filter. This is what I use to bake with, Huda Beauty baking powder. I know I didn't really give you guys all that information, so I apologize. I use this Juvia Place concealer in the shade 12. All right, so now we're just gonna do a little eye. If you've watched my channel, you know this is my favorite palette, the Warriors by Juvia's. It's just a perfect brown skin girls palette if you want a natural look for every day. So, with all that being said, we are now in the process of going back to the drawing board. Even though there's boxes in my parents' living room right now as we speak, we're going back to the drawing board to find the place of my dreams. At least the first place of my dream, because my dream home is still out there. The dream home I want to get with my husband, but the one that I want to get by myself, you know, that the first property I want to have before I have, before I have kids and get married and all that good jazz, is the home that I'm looking for right now. And when I tell you I'm excited, because your girl is the only child, I've always had the beautiful support of amazing parents that guide me and support me and love me and allow me to have stayed here as long as they have, to allow me to save money. So I'm so appreciative of them, of that. I got some good parents. They have been there for me. They have held my hand. They've been there through it all. And they put me in a position to not have to rent, with my first place. So I'm excited for what's to come. So we're going back to the drawing board, and I am excited because now I have a different outlook. I know what to look for. I know what not to look for. I know what's not okay, what is okay. I'm just ready for exactly, where everything's about to go. Like, this is going to be good. So I'm super, super stoked about this next process, because I believe that God is just going to remind me why his timing is perfect, why he makes no mistakes. In other news, of course, I've got makeup all over my pants. This is great. In other news, I really need a vacation, guys. I have not had a real vacation since 2017. 2017. Can y'all believe that? And obviously, being that I get on social media too much, watching all y'all take y'all Cabo trips, your Tulum trips, your Jamaica trips, and I ain't hating. Maybe I am hating a little bit. But golly, bro, like, I need a vacation, guys. I'm a workaholic. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but obviously because I've been preparing for my first place, I've been trying to watch every dollar that I spend. But when I tell you, when I settle into this condo or into my first place, I am, when I tell you, when I settle in, I'm gonna take a vacation. And even if it's somewhere not far away, even if it's like Orlando or something, because I'm in South Florida. So even if it's somewhere not, even if it's somewhere super close, I'm fine with that. I just need a vacation, guys. Because your girl, I need a vacation. I need a girlcation. I need some kind of cation. Because the biggest thing for me is, like, I hate routines. I hate when my life feels like a broken record. Like, when I'm playing the same song every day. You go to work, you may work out, you go home, you go see whoever you want to see, and you repeating the cycle all over again. Like, I need some spontaneity. I need some adventure. And yeah. But I'm trying to be smart about it, because my coins need to be in order. I can't have my priorities out of whack with me trying to get a place and I'm over here spending crazy money for a vacation. So the timing has to be right. And I believe that God is going to put me in a position to take the well-needed vacation that I need. But I need one, y'all. And if you're somebody like me who works all the time, make sure that you're carving out time to take a vacation. Don't let life pull you in all these different directions and you don't invest into yourself. Vacation helps your mental health. Being out of the environment that you're used to being in, it really helps you refocus. And you're just a nicer person when you come back to work. Your boss even gonna love you because you had a vacation. And when I tell you I'm so overdue, you talking about 4 years since I've taken a real vacation. Like, that is crazy to me. That is crazy. We just can't have that no more. Granted, the pandemic had a lot to do with it, but we need a real vacation. And on top of that, I need a vacation. Well, I try to take it weekly as far as just from the news, but I just want a break from seeing the trauma of Black lives on the news, of seeing our bodies just be rolled into another funeral home, from seeing cops treat us as if we're not human beings, just from seeing the mass shootings. Every week there's a new mass shooting, seeing the mental health disaster that we have going on in our country. And you may not be religious, or I don't know if whoever's watching believes in God. Well, when I tell you we are in our last days, this is exactly what the Bible talks about when it says that a lot of crazy things are going to happen before Jesus comes back. This is exactly what he's talking about. And if I didn't have the peace of God throughout this time, I don't know how I would get through. I don't know how I would be able to fight past seeing hatred and racism still being played out in front of me. Like, so I need a vacation from that too. I mean, with the state of where we are in America, I don't know if it's going to get any better with racism. All I can do is be the difference. That's literally all I can do, is make sure that I'm the difference, because my influence, who I am, is a big deal. And there's no way that I can say that I want to see change and I'm not being the change. So I don't need to show hatred to white people just because there are white people that are doing it wrong. I don't need to show hatred to cops just because there are cops that are not doing it right. What I need to do is make sure that I'm being exactly opposite of the hatred that I'm seeing on social media, on the news, all around me. And also, y'all, we have to understand that we are feeding our minds, our brains, our soul with constant information from the things that we scroll and see on Instagram and on social media. And it is very easy to get sucked into the trauma And before you realize it, you're taking it on. It's becoming a part of your mental health. So I say all of that to say, make sure that you are taking breaks from social media when necessary. Because if you overload yourself with all of that information, with all of this bad news, with all of these different forms of news, who broke up, what mass shooting is here next, who's this, who's that, you know, who else went viral for harassing a black person, whatever the case is, if we don't watch the amount of information that we're taking on and we're not balancing that out with the word of God, with prayer, with meditation, we're going to put ourselves in a position where we're taking on more trauma than we need to take on. And now the positivity of social media is that we can use our voices, we can use our platforms to be the change that we want to see. But we also got to realize that breaks need to be taken. And that's on period. That's on period. Another thing, guys, and you should be proud of me, I feel like I'm finally forming, and I've only had one successful week of it, but hey, you know, I'm feeling myself. So I feel like I've finally been forming a healthy morning routine, and I'm gonna do a video for you guys of my morning routine. So I feel like I've finally been able to beat the pattern that I was on, where I would, because I go to work like later in the day, so I have enough ample time to get up out of my bed, work out, fix breakfast, meditate, pray, do all that good stuff. And I wasn't doing it. I mean, when I tell you, I would just be that person that was just staying up in bed all the way up until it was time to go to work, wasting all of that precious time not doing things that are good for my health, my well-being, and just putting myself in a position to not win. So I said no more. I prayed about it, and when I tell you, all this week I've been going to the park before work in the morning, going to the gym before work, taking a walk in my neighborhood, trying to remain active, because your girl be eating, girl. Your girl be eating. So if I don't remain active, I'm going to consistently keep on this pandemic weight, because this pandemic weight has been crazy for your girl. I done gained 20 pounds since the pandemic started, and the weight has to come off. I don't fit things anymore. It's a mess. Like, I'm not even gonna pretend like it's not. But what I have to remind myself is I'm beautiful even in my pandemic weight. I'm still that girl. I don't need to compare myself to anything I'm seeing. And I'm still that girl. Periana. How y'all like my natural routine? I told y'all it wasn't nothing special. It just do it exactly what it need to do. You know, nothing too crazy. And then we got the little hair store lip gloss for the win. Cause your girl don't really be doing that with the lips. Yes. Fluff up the hair a little bit, because these curls in the front is really hating on me. Don't want me to be great. Yes. So, gave you guys some first-time home buyer tips. Let you know, some of the good things that I'm trying to progressively do. Get a morning routine, stay active, be healthy, as well as making sure that I'm self-caring as much as I possibly can, because it is important. It is important, y'all. I also need a vacation. We know that much. And ultimately, I'm just in a season where I do not have time to sleep on myself. The alarm clock is loud at this point. Like, everything that God is trying to do in my life, I feel like I'm birthing it in my 30s. Like, my 30s is going to birth. And so it's going to birth so many huge moments for me that I had no idea my 20s were preparing me for. So when I tell you I'm about to be, an owner of multiple properties, I'm about to be breaking generational curses in my family. I am going to be the motivational speaker that I was always called to be. I am going to be traveling the world and inspiring women and millennials to live their best life now. I am in position to really create an empire on the legacy and on the backs of my ancestors and those who came before me, and all who had something to do with the person I am today. There's just so much to come for more motivation. So y'all just stay tuned. If you are a part of the family, you get a ticket to the ride, and just keep manifesting exactly where you see God taking you. If you know that you're going to be a business owner, if you know that you're going to own multiple properties, speak that thing. Don't get light on God. God is a God of big things. And so if you are blessed to serve him, you got to remember how big he is. And even this home buying process, I had to remember how big my God is. There is no way that I could serve the God that I serve and not believe him for exactly what I know he can do. And God is a God of the challenging. He's the God of the impossible. He's the God of turning little into huge. So whatever it is that you're believing him for, and you think that it's probably too small, it's too safe, go a little bit higher. Make it bigger. Manifest bigger, because that's just a season that we're in. 2021 is a season of bigger, and it's time out for us putting God in a box. He's too good for that. He's too great for that. He's already proven himself enough for you not to put him into a box. So I love you guys. I hope that you were inspired by my life update. I hope you took some tips from my natural makeup routine. And yeah, keep joining the family. Make sure you keep coming back. Invite some friends. Yeah, stay tuned, guys. I love you.